G'day ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Draw with Jazza. I'm Jazza and I've been a YouTuber for a while now, and as a result I've also built up a lot of stuff to make videos with. Here at Jazza Studios I've built an empire. And by empire I just mean a room with lots of boom arms. So what I thought it would be fun to do is to directly compare the more established studio setup against a pretty minimalistic sort of on-the-go laptop setup. Because when you look at a channel or a content creator or an artist that's been working for, this channel's been going on for like 6 or 7 years now, you don't factor in all of that time and all of the slow incremental build-up of tech or studio equipment or whatever it is. People just sort of assume that to do what that person is doing, obviously I need the same stuff. It's not the case. We're going to talk about that. And in facilitating talking about that, I'm going to be working with the lggram laptop. Now this is the 14-inch 2-in-1. It has a tablet, which means I can double up and use it for editing and streaming and all of that stuff. Oh, good morning. But I can also flip it and draw. This video is sponsored by LG. It doesn't say LG, that says gram. Oh wait, hang on. If I shut this down, I'll turn it on again. You ready? LG are currently hosting a competition where you have a chance to win one of 3 17-inch LG gram. And they're calling the competition #ScaleUp. Their competition takes place in 2 parts, the Scale Up Quiz and the Scale Up Idea. There are $130 Amazon gift cards that you can have a chance to win, and like I said, there are 3 17-inch LG gram laptops. Stay tuned for the end of the video for the details, and all of that is in the description as well. It really just entails just going over to their videos and getting involved with the comments using their hashtag and entering for your chance to win. But I'll come back to that at the end of the video with all of the details, and a huge thank you to LG for sponsoring this video. Now in my studio I produce 3 main types of product, I guess you could say. Video content, artwork, and animation. So I'm going to be directly comparing the workflow and the equipment required to do all of those things in my current studio setup with a minimalist setup. We're going to talk about if the on-the-go setup can keep up with a studio setup and even compete on some level. Now it's time for the battle to begin. In the left corner we have the studio setup, which is comprised of, like I said, 6 or 7 years of fairly hoarderishly accumulating tech and stuff, because I sort of geek out about all that stuff. I have a Lumix GH5 with a couple of nice lenses, and I have a pretty beefy PC and a large ultra-wide monitor which I use to edit big videos on. I have a big 27-inch digital tablet that I use to do art and animation on. And then beyond all of that, there's sort of peripheral filming and equipment stuff that I don't need but I use from time to time, whether it be secondary cameras or GoPros, about 40 boom arms. Maybe not 4. I should probably stop moving the mic because it's probably making it harder for you to hear. But I have a lot of boom arms because it makes moving things in and out of frame convenient. You just reach and pull and push. I've got these things. They're cool. You loosen it goes floppy, and you tighten it. Hard as a rock. I've got a camera slider, I've got a drone, I've got a whole bunch of different things that I can use depending on the video and how ambitious I want to get to make the most impactful and cool videos possible. As much fun as all the equipment is that I've built up over the years, I'm going to head off on a journey to Melbourne and just take this and a few peripheral pieces of tech equipment with me to prove that not only can you create comparable video, art, and animation content, but also have a bit of an edge over the studio setup in ways that you only can with such a compact laptop-based on-the-go setup, because all of a sudden the world is at your disposal and you can take it all with you. Now remember this point in the video because I'm going to reference it later. So when it comes to recording videos on a YouTube channel, there are a couple of types of videos that are pretty common. One is talk to camera, which I'm doing right now. This can be achieved on the go pretty simply with my phone, which I'm using right now, and capturing audio externally, which I'm doing with the Zoom H4n. Once you have your audio and video, you just bring it over to your laptop and do your editing, and Bob's your uncle, you've got a video. Then the second type of video that I do a lot and a lot of other channels do is the PIP video, where there's a camera in the corner of the screen and an activity taking place. Mine tends to be art, so I'm going to make a simple talk to camera art video, and I might head over to somewhere with a little more noise control, say the public library. This one's going to be a little more involved because to compete with a studio setup, I'm going to need a little bit of outside help, some tools to supplement my lggram, specifically the external audio capture I referenced before and an external video capture. Now, this does have a great quality webcam, but the problem is, of course, if you're making video content, the camera is here, and if you're going to have your tablet on an angle, you're essentially going to have the camera looking up at your face, and it's not going to be very pretty. I'm going to be using a simple stand to keep this in place so I can work efficiently even though I have a really compact setup. Let's go on over to the library and make a bit of noise. All right, so I'm in a light. I'm louder than I. I'm in a library. As we're in a library, why not try drawing a librarian? Let's do some simple construction lines. Do some square spectacles because they're a bit of a square. And he's got these squinty eyes and is really irritated because there's nothing more irritating in a library than someone making too much noise. So we've got a bit of the shh going on. Is that the second time I've winked? I think that's the second time I've winked. I wink when I feel socially awkward. I'm pretty happy with the line work. The only thing is his arm here is a little too buff. He doesn't work out. He spends too long reading, like a nerd. I shouldn't say that too loud in here. Oh, I was gonna go dark blue pants, but let's go beige. And I think a nice nurturing green for the vest is a good librarian color. Got his little badge, let's give him his glasses, and a nice big leather tome. You know they're serious when they don't just read books, they read tomes. I wonder where they keep the tomes in here. You probably can't just go up to the counter and say, "Where are your tomes?" You are so beautiful, tome me. Sorry. There's always a distant cough in the library. I feel like every now and then I need to contribute one. Nailed it. To finish it off, I'm just going to grab a paintbrush and I'm going to add a very faint shadow behind him just to give him a feeling of solidity. Just very roughly put this in, and there we have it. A librarian as drawn in a library. I'm going to stop this now because I'm probably annoying a lot of people. All right, remember that part of the video where I said to pay attention to? That was when I started editing on this thing. Sort of to make a point, the entire talk to camera section and the entire little art video were all edited on here, and because I'm a glutton for punishment, I also edited the external high resolution camera that I have PJ holding right now. So normally it wouldn't even be that much work. I would just do the stuff that I filmed on the gram with the webcam, with the external audio, and it's all really doable. But then beyond that, I'm also able to edit multicam footage and in a single day on the same battery, which is crazy. So I guess the point of all of that I've shown you is that you can make pretty good and I think quite watchable content as long as the very bare minimum things are ticked. Decent enough image quality, which most people have in their pockets these days. Decent enough audio, which is worth investigating just to make sure you get an okay source, whether it be through a separate recorder or just a standalone microphone, and then having a reasonable means by which you can record, edit, and render and produce the content on. With those boxes ticked, you can really do a lot of the same stuff. The reality is the disparity between the hardware being able to manage the software on a desktop versus a laptop PC, it's really shrinking. Laptops and tablets these days are much more capable of running professional equipment and programs than ever before. And in fact, I used this device for a full day using Premiere to edit, to render. I was playing back a 3-camera HD multicam video and rendering that. I was creating art in Photoshop. I was using really powerful programs, and some of which while screen recording in XSplit, and this was handling it fine. That was not possible 3 or 4 years ago. But then we get to why the on-the-go setup has a bit of an edge, because I can't take my studio with me and render a video unless I have this. And it may not be that I should, but the fact that I can create content while I'm getting a haircut or walking down the street or even sitting on top of the world, it's a valuable asset to anyone running a business or wanting to start a venture. So that's just worth putting out there. Now, I've talked a lot about video creation, and I think it's a high time we talked a little bit more about art and animation. Can a portable setup compete with a studio setup? Well, unsurprisingly, the studio setup is always going to be more fitting for people who are going to sit down for 12 to 18 hours or work on crunch time on an art or your animation project, especially if there are long-term projects. Creating an environment that is comfortable, reliable, and fits your workflow perfectly is pretty important. But again, that is becoming more and more doable with a portable setup than ever before. You really want your on-the-go setup to feel non-restrictive when it comes to creating a sort of art and animation quality and workflow that's going to be worth using. There are a lot of devices out there that have styluses that are just, I guess, meant to serve as an input device and not specifically an art creation tool. The pen that comes with the 14-inch 2-in-1 was developed with Wacom and is a high pressure sensitivity art focused pen. You already saw me create a pretty simple artwork while making a video. If I take the video creation element out of the mix and just focus on art and animation on the device, can the laptop tablet setup compare with or compete with a studio art and animation creation setup? Almost and definitely. Let me explain. That's because I asked two questions. The first was, can it keep up with? And when it comes to obviously performance versus a full studio or the workflow and comfort, it can almost keep up with it because there's really minimal lag. There's not really any interface or usability issues that I've experienced in the past with those sort of setups. The technology and the hardware is way more able to keep up with the intense software and requirements of a fast workflow than ever before. So we're almost there when it comes to comfort and usability and quality in a portable setup and a minimal investment, especially compared to the costs of setting up and running a studio. And then the second question was, can it compete? Where the answer was definitely. The fact that you get so much added utility in being able to bring this device with you anywhere. If you need to, you can do it. I can't pack up my studio and take it with me. So much of what we have technologically now is possible in a much more minimal way. You have a camera, an audio capture device, you have a rendering and editing machine. This is a studio. Now I say all that, of course, not willing to throw all of my camera equipment and sliders out into the bin, and in fact I'm recording this video in my studio that I've built up over the last 7 years. There is a lot of value in fine-tuning and steadily improving your production assets and workflow so that over time your comfort increases, the quality of what you're producing increases, but all of that is just garnishes to the main meal. The main meal is the guts, the heart and soul of what you're creating, whether it be art, animation, or video content. You can tick those boxes with a really basic setup in a really affordable way. You have more options today than ever before, and I have to say, I can definitely recommend a 14-inch 2-in-1 for you guys. I have actually really been blown away by the Gram's ability to just last. Seriously, I used this thing all day, and all of that footage I captured in the city running around. I was rendering videos and filming, I was recording an XSplit while using Premiere or Photoshop. All of that done, recorded, produced in the city, and then edited on the train on the way home, all on a single battery life. So definitely go check that out. I'll put the details for that in the description too for those of you interested in this. But if you're interested, of course, in having your chance of winning one of 3 of the 17-inch Gram laptops, the competition is the hashtag Scale Up competition, and it's run in 2 parts: the hashtag Scale Up quiz, which is run on Instagram and YouTube, and then the hashtag Scale Up idea, which is run on Instagram. So for the Scale Up quiz, go to the YouTube video or the Instagram video in the description, or both, because why not, and answer the question posed in the description for your chance to win. And of course, make sure to use the appropriate hashtag. All the details are in the description. There'll be 50 winners from each that will receive a $30 Amazon gift card. And then we have this Scale Up idea, which is a competition on Instagram and which is going to give you a chance to win one of 3 LG Gram 17-inch laptops. They're calling it a trick photo contest, where essentially you need to upload an image on your own public Instagram account inspired by one of the 17-inch LG Gram's features. It's called a trick image contest because the idea is essentially to use a bit of forced perspective, much like they did in Lord of the Rings. You know how to make the hobbits, they had like them further back and they were pretending to talk to each other, but they were actually facing like that. Sort of like that. There are a lot of creative people in this community, and like I said, you all have pretty good photo and video equipment on you already, so get creative because the right idea might win you a 17-inch LG Gram laptop, which, as we've discussed, is a studio. So you may as well get cracking and get creative now, because you really do have a good chance of winning a laptop if you have the right idea. That does it for this video, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure to hit that like button, especially if you respect the length that I went to create a YouTube video in a very quiet public place. I have to say, that was pretty obnoxious. but it was also pretty consistent. Thank you for watching, and until next time, I'll see you later. Make sure to subscribe to my channel to see more of my videos. And while you're at it, check out my shop where I sell ebooks, brushes, photo references, video courses, and more. There's another video you might enjoy from my channel over there, and you can also check out my behind the scenes daily vlog channel, Daily Jazza. That's it for now, and until next time, I'll see you later.